Hello folks, Papa Top 912 coming at you with another one of my famous recipes. I know it's been a while since I put some recipes up, but it's Thanksgiving. We got some special guests in town, family from all over, and we're going to be cooking some great meals this weekend. So what we decided to do was get some of these things on film so you can enjoy these recipes at home. So what I'm going to go over right now, I'm going to be going over my Thanksgiving stuffing. It's any holiday stuffing, but we're going to call it Thanksgiving stuffing today. So I'm going to go over, come closer.
Okay.
We're going to go over the ingredients that go in this thing. And this is going to be kind of a two-part because we got a lot of prep work. We've done some prep work here. You can see all the things that's going on in there. I'll put all of the recipe in the actual video for you so you'll know what portions. But what we're going to have is some Jiffy corn. Sorry, this is the Jiffy buttermilk biscuit mix. And then we got 2 boxes of the Jiffy corn muffin mix. 1 bag of the Pepperish Farm cubes. Always get the herb ones. This one has the white and brown bread in it with the herbs. 1 tub of chicken livers. Onions. We got 4 different types of onions in there. We got sweet onions, red onions, white onions, and yellow onions. I'm going to use about half of those onions in the dressing. 3 fresh cloves of garlic. And then in this bowl here, this is our peppers. We got celery on the bottom, red, yellow, and orange bell peppers. And then on top, we have some poblano peppers for a little bit of heat, but not too much. A can of sweet cream-style corn. I'm using this better than bouillon chicken base instead of buying the chicken stock or the chicken broth out the store. I'm just going to make my own because I can control the salt content a little better with that. We got us some salted butter, Jimmy Dean sausage with the sage, 2 eggs, some plain Greek yogurt. Actually, that's not the Greek one, but plain yogurt. And then the seasoning blends we're going to have black pepper, parsley flakes, oregano, red pepper, that's the crushed red pepper flakes, basil, that's sweet Hungarian paprika, tarragon, ground sage, rosemary, and thyme. And I think I said the 2 eggs earlier. So that's everything that's going to go into this dressing recipe. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make up the biscuit mix, put it in the oven. Then I'm going to make up the cornbread mix. I'm going to put that in the oven as well. Get those cooked off. And while that's going on, I'm going to saute off the vegetables with the sausage meat and the chicken livers. Get all that together, and then we'll put it all together. So I'm not going to show you all those individual pieces because pretty much it's just following the recipes on the boxes for those. But I do a little bit something special with the corn muffin mix because I put the cream-style corn and the yogurt in there. And that makes it really like, it's not wet, but it's like really creamy bread because we're going to put it in the stuffing.
Moist and creamy.
Yeah, moist and creamy. That's what it's going to make it for my assistant right there. So we'll get all that going. We'll get all of that going, and then I'll show you how we mix it all together, and then we put it in the pans and bake it off in the oven. So for now, it's Papa Top 912 signing off till we get some of these prep work done. All right, folks. We're kind of in the middle of something here. We're making up the cornbread mix right now. I know in the beginning I told you to read the box for the Jiffy mix. It's been a while since I made this, but I forgot. We don't really go by the Jiffy mix too much because the mix calls for eggs. But I'm sorry. The mix calls for milk. But instead of using the milk, we're using the cream-style corn and the yogurt for the liquid. And then we melt off the butter in there. That's 2 sticks of butter in there. Melt it off. This is a rich recipe, but it's well worth the wait. That's why we don't only eat it like once or twice a year. So you can see it's nice and liquidy. We didn't put any milk in there. We just used the combination of the butter, the yogurt, and the cream-style corn. So that's going to be very good when we get it out the oven. So he's done got that mixed up good. We're going to go ahead and put that in a baking dish. Bake it off in the oven at 375. And then we'll start on that biscuit mix. Alright folks, so now you can see we got the cornbread going over there, and right next to it we got the biscuits. The biscuit mix, we used the box mix, but we substituted the milk with the yogurt again, just to have a little more moisture biscuit there. Everything's cooking off well in the oven. I'm going to go over to the stove now. And my assistant right there.
Hello.
We got this sausage meat and the livers browning off in the pan here. Don't have to put any seasoning in it because the sausage has sage in it. So that sage is going to kind of get into the liver and get a little bit like pre-seasoning going on in there. So we're going to go ahead and just brown this off. And then we're going to use those drippings and saute off the vegetables. I'm going to use half of those vegetables that we used. That was, like I said, it was 4 large onions, 4 different types. We're going to use half of all of those onions. And we're going to use all of those peppers and the celery. And when you put all those like rich, like fresh vegetables in there, you're going to find that you don't have to really season the stuff up on the backside, because those fresh vegetables are going to give it all that good fresh flavor that you're looking for inside of a dressing. So I'm not going to have to put a lot of seasoning. I will use those seasonings that I showed you, but that'll just be to taste. So it won't be a lot of it. You know, teaspoon here, teaspoon there, just something like that, till we get it the way we liking it tasting. But the main thing is to use those fresh vegetables, fresh cut like that, and they're going to really bring out the flavor inside of that dressing when we start putting it together. So I'm going to continue to brown off this meat, and then we'll start sauteing off the vegetables. Alright folks, so now you can see the sausage and the livers are all browned off. Just want to cook it till there ain't no more pink or light colored meat in there. Because basically when we're making that dressing, everything we put in there is already cooked. So all you got to do is put it in the oven and just let it tighten up a little bit. So this is what we were looking for. I'll go ahead and dump this into this big pot here. This will be my big mixing pot. So I'm going to dump this in there. Check on my breads in the oven. And I'm about to start sauteing off my vegetables now. Alright, so look in this pan right here. You see these wonderful mirror of colors in there. The oranges, the yellows, the reds, the dark greens, and the light greens. We're just going to, got a stick of butter in there. We're just going to saute these down just till they get a little translucent. We ain't trying to cook them all the way. We're just trying to just bring out the natural sweetness in these vegetables. We're going to dump them in that pan. Then we're going to bring those onions over and repeat. I wish you had smell-o-vision right now, because man, this pot is smelling good. Woo! So I'll let you see what this look like when I get ready to pour it off, and then we'll move on to the next one. But there's our mirror of colors, and that's going to look real good when we put it in that oven and you take it out too, against that brown bread. Just some rainbow of colors inside there. I like that. So festive. Alright folks, welcome back. You can see here now, you can see that these vegetables are now kind of glossed over. They still got some firmness to them, but they're turning translucent and nice and shiny. That's where I wanted to get them to right there. I'm going to pour those off on top of that meat now and start the onions. I'm going to show you this right here too. That's all the drippings from the sausage and the so I strained all that off. We don't want like grease inside of the dressing. So now that's just meat. We're going to put these vegetables in there. The cornbread and the biscuits are ready. They're hot, so I'm not going to touch them right now. So I'll just show you what that, how that turned out a little bit later. So we'll get the onions going. Same steps. I probably won't show you a video of the onions because it's just basically doing the same thing again. Here's the end result of the onions. Cooked just enough to kind of let those sugars start coming out of them. So at this point, this recipe is darn near over. So I'm going to go ahead and pour these onions in. Right there, you see I've already mixed in the other peppers inside of the meat mix. I'm going to put those onions in there. Mix those in like that as well, and then just let everything cool off so that we can get in there and start mixing it up, because I mix it by hand, so it needs to be cool enough to the touch. So while they're resting like that, all those flavors are going to start seeping in and out of each other. So that meat's going to start sucking in all the juices from these onions and those peppers. Just get that mixed in real good. Basically, just gonna let that marinate for a little while till it cool off, and then we come back and put the finishing touches on it, which is just adding the bread mixture and the chicken stock, and putting it in the pan and putting it in the oven. So, be back with you shortly. All right, y'all. So the last thing I got going in here is the garlic. And this has literally only been in the pan for like a minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes. You can see how it's already starting to caramelize. So it's now been woken up, and we're going to dump that in the pot as well and stir that in. That'll be the last of the vegetables. I always do the garlic last because it can burn easily. So I don't want to mix it in with the other vegetables and then have it start to burn, because those other ones take a little bit longer to sweat out. So there you got it. You can see how festive the colors are in this pan here. Very colorful. That's what I'm going for. Alright. See y'all soon. Alright guys, here's the end results of the cornbread and the biscuit mix. Like I said, we just left those in the oven until you can stick a knife in them and it come out clean. Took about 15, no more than 20 minutes at 375 for that to work out that way. So once this cools off completely, we'll start to break it apart, mix it into the meat mixture, and then pour in our chicken stock, and we'll be good to go with the dressing. Alright folks, welcome back. Today is the next day. It's actually Thanksgiving morning now, and I'm down here. I'm going to go ahead and finish putting this dressing together this morning. Been up for a few hours now. I got my ham outside smoking on the grill, got my yams baked off of my candy yams, so everything's kind of placed in motion. Just trying to just get this all finished up and just be done by late breakfast time, so we'll be ready to eat later on in the day and not be rushing and having things done. So what we got is this is the biscuit, and this is the cornbread, and this is the meat mixture with the sauteed vegetables. I will tell you that this whole recipe did take 1 pound of butter, because I put 2 sticks of butter in the cornbread, and then I used the other 2 sticks when I was sauteing off the vegetables, and I just put that in there because I get that butter flavor in this mix. So the first thing we're going to do now is we're going to just this recipe is going to take anywhere from 6 to 8 cups of chicken stock. Now, I don't buy the stock in liquid form. I just buy this right here, which is the bouillon, the better than base bouillon. And then I'll take 1 heaping tablespoon and just mix it in some hot water. It's pretty concentrated there. So that's 1 cup to 1 teaspoon, 1 tablespoon, a heaping tablespoon. And go ahead and pour that in. And the reason I do it that way, and right now I only have 5 cups of water. Some of that didn't get dissolved, so got that in there now. And we're gonna start off with 5 cups, and then I'll taste it, and if it has enough flavoring in it, I'll just add more water. But if it needs a little more flavor, then I'll add some more of the bouillon and some hot water. So don't mix it all up at once, because you never know how it's going to turn out. It just depends on how, how much flavor is already in there from the vegetables and the sausage meat as well. So you don't want to overpower your dishes, so just go slow and add as you need to. So here goes that white biscuit mix. Again, we just use the biscuits and an egg and the plain yogurt instead of the milk. Just gonna break that up into, you're not crumbling it, just breaking it up into decent chunks. You don't want to mash. You want to have some texture and some body. So just, you kind of see the size particles that I'm breaking this up into. Because because of the liquid we're gonna put in there, it's gonna break down. So you want to have enough, have a little texture and not just be gummy. Got that one folded in. Break off another piece. Fold that in. And now this biscuit itself is not going to have much flavor at all because it's literally just flour, egg, and plain yogurt. And neither of those three have any, standalone taste by themselves. So it's literally just putting white bread in there or just white biscuit. No salt, no nothing, no butter in it or anything. So it's just kind of a filler that we're using. Alright, that's getting a little thick there, so I'm going to pour in about half of this water here. Get that folded in. Alright, now I'm going to take this cornbread out. Again, with the cornbread, it was 2 boxes of the Jiffy Mix, 2 eggs, 2 sticks of butter, and then a liberal amount of the Greek yogurt. Between the two, I use about half of that container of the Greek yogurt. Now this, on the other hand, has an excellent flavor. So even if you didn't want to make this dressing recipe, you can use this cornbread recipe just on a regular day. Again, the yogurt makes it a little more moist. See, it's like very soft, and I can feel the moisture on my fingers right there. And then that cream style corn just adds just a little bit of sweetness to it. Get that mixed in. It's starting to get a little tight again. So go ahead and break off the rest of this cornbread in there. Of this liquid right on top of that. So that's 5 cups of water so far. based on what I'm feeling right now, 6 will probably do the trick, because this is pretty tacky already right now. So you're going to do is make sure you fold it, take it from the bottom outside and fold that to the middle. Make sure you get it mixed up. You just want to mix it until you kind of, when you're folding it, you don't see any whole lumps of cornbread or whole lumps of biscuits in there. You want it to be mixed in pretty good. Or let me say uncoated. When I say lumps like that, any uncoated lumps. That's what I meant to say. Alright. So that's that. Alright. I'm going to give it a little taste real quick now. Very good flavor. Just like I told you, all those fresh ingredients in themselves create flavor. Alright. So now, just going to add a few shakes of each of these ingredients. And it's basically just a light coat right across the top. Don't need to overdo it because it's already flavored up. It's just gonna add a little cinch to it. And it's pretty much equal parts of each one. My new sage. Haven't opened this one yet. She open now. A little bit of black pepper. Oregano. Tarragon. Now when you add these red pepper flakes, be careful with those. Add it to your liking. Like we don't like a lot of hot foods. So, and there's the basil. And then last, it's going to be a little bit of the sweet Hungarian paprika. I prefer the sweet over the smoked. There we go. I'm about out of this one. And I had a little more of the paprika than anything else. So, let you kind of see, you know, all that's in there. It's barely, it didn't even cover the whole top. So it's just a little bit of each ingredient. And now this is getting tight. I don't need any more of the salt, the chicken base, because it has enough salt in it. So that 6 cup, it's just gonna be straight water. That's gonna help get those, all those seasonings blended in there. this way. And you don't want to overwork it. I got those in there. I still got to add these. When these are dry, it's the nighttime. So they're going to soak up a lot of that liquid. So put some of those in. Fold them in. The rest in there. Try to keep it in the pan, not like me. Spilling it on the counter and everything. Those are folded in. See just how tight that's already got again. Keep more work area cleaned up here. All right. Kind of fold from the outside edges so you keep those edges straightened off and fold that into the middle. Make sure you get everything mixed up nice and well. And that's really it. And this doesn't take that long to prepare. I mean, it took me every bit of 5 minutes with the inclusion of my little helpers yesterday to do the cornbread and the biscuits. About 5 minutes a piece for those. Pop those in the oven. While that was cooking in the oven, saute off your meat and your vegetables. And if you get a big, one of those full-size foil pans, you can lay that meat and the vegetables in that foil pan on a single layer, and they'll cool quick. And then when you take the bread out, bread it was pretty thin, don't take that long for that to cool off. You can mix all this up. You can have this whole dish together in less than an hour. So the only thing left now is to just put this inside of the foil pans. I got a couple half pans we're gonna do. And I don't like a really, I got a 2-inch pan. I'll probably make it about 1.5 inches deep. So that way I know it kind of cooks evenly all the way through. It doesn't get dried on the top and kind of soggy in the middle or the bottom. So keep it about 1.5 inches thick and you'll get an even heat. And use a convection oven too if you got one. So I'm gonna pan this up, slide it in the oven about another 1.5 hours. So it'll be nice and hot when we get ready to leave. We're actually taking these dishes over to somebody's house today. We got enough to leave here, but we're also taking some for the family meal. So there's the recipe right there for you. I'll take a couple pictures or maybe a video at the end once it comes out the oven so you can see what it looks like. But that is my holiday dressing recipe right there for you right there. Thank you. All right, y'all. So here's the end result of that stuffing mix. It's been in the oven about an hour at 375. see our air is nice and tight now. It looks a little loose right there because it's hot. As it cools off, it's going to tighten up a little bit more. But that's right where I want it. Before I open the oven door, the oils and stuff are bubbling up around the edges. That's how I knew it was ready to go. And again, everything's already cooked and there's no eggs in there, so you don't have to worry about it being raw. You just want to have it enough so you can have it, have a little body when you're scooping it. So this is done and good to go. You can see all those different colors from the vegetables standing out in there. They didn't disintegrate because I didn't saute them to death. I just kind of broke them down a little bit. But there it is right there. Hope you enjoy when you try this.